Welcome back to the vlog. Welcome here to Wewak, Papua New Guinea. Here with my wife Chelsea today, and we're heading down to Madang, just an hour and 5-minute flight. So let's go ahead and get started.
Pause system test. Okay.
Super hot. Only 36 degrees Celsius. I think it's like 95, maybe.
Elton.
No. It'll come on in just a second. No.
Much better.
All stations, Wewak, Kodiak November Tango Echo. Be taxiing runway 10 for departure, Madang. All stations, Wewak. Our taxi light in or land?
Tango Echo, this is Mosby. Confirm taxiing Wewak for Madang.
Affirm, Wewak, Madang, 2 POB.
November Tango Echo, no departure traffic.
November Tango Echo. Anyways, on this flight, because there's probably not a lot going to be going on, I'm going to try to shoot the practice instrument approach down into Madang just for practice, obviously, and also just so I can show you guys. It's our anniversary weekend, that's why we're heading down there for the weekend, and we'll just stay for a couple of days down there before heading back up to Goroka for my flights on Monday. Just so I don't have to answer in the comments a million times, it's 17 years. In case everybody's wondering. All stations, Wewak, November Tango Echo, be back taxiing 10 for departure Madang. We'll be on climb 1000, Wewak. Alright, clear left and clear right. Throw our strobes on. Do you turn your power on your thing?
Can't hear me?
I can hear you, but it should go quiet for you if you hold that button down and the green light comes on.
Yeah.
And then it'll go quiet.
Oh.
Yeah, a lot quieter now, huh?
Yeah, that's cool.
1470 and God, actually, let me throw my weights in. 60 and 70. Rotate at 60 knots. Right, 1470. Rotate 60. Airspeed's alive. There's 50 continuing. There's rotate. Well, coming in here just a minute ago, coming back from the upper sea peak up by Moonville. Looked like it was going to be a nice flight down there, so shouldn't have any weather to contend with at all. But like I said, I still would like to shoot that instrument approach that I don't do them very often, and yeah, I'll give you a little bit more content for this video. We're just pitching at our 7.5 degrees. We're over 85, we're over 500. We'll start taking our flaps out up to 10 degrees. Retrim it and go 0 degrees. Bring our pop to 2,000 RPM. And call up Moresby. I'll let them know that we've headed out of here now. 02. Moresby 126.7, November Tango Echo, departure.
November Tango Echo, go ahead.
November Tango Echo departed Wewak, time 02. Tracking 059er. Or correction, 122. On climb 1000, estimating overhead bogey 35. November Tango Echo.
November Tango Echo, no reported traffic, Eric units 1012. Call again bogey on 120.1.
1012, 120.1 bogey, November Tango Echo. Well, I've been telling you guys about these sunglasses, and these are the other ones. These are the just the regular classic style ones. They're polarized. Let me see those real quick. I want to see if I can actually use them with the G1000 or if it messes them up. All right. Looking at all directions, I can still see the screens just fine. I'd say it's a little bit clearer with these ones. And these ones, it kind of gives it just a little bit of a kind of a 3D dimensional look to it, but it does work with them and it doesn't make it black. So anyways, I've got those on my website, worldwide shipping, if you guys are if you're interested in getting some Sunglasses, those ones are polarized, these ones are not, but these are also glass lenses. I'm actually kind of glad that it's a gloomy afternoon. It was so bright and sunny on the way out there. But yeah, usually this flight is like right into the sun and my cameras overheat and I overheat and everything else, so I have water if you need any.
Good.
Alright, once we get our speed up to 130 knots, now that we're leveled off at 11,000, we'll start reducing our torque.
13120 Alpha
Down to 1250. Let it sit there for a second, everything adjusts. We want 2,000 on the RPM and 1250 on the torque. I'll also put a little bit of left rudder pressure because you can see if I don't do anything, it just sits off to the left. And looking ahead of us, we've just got clouds ahead of us. Basically all of this brown mountains right there is where all those buildups are. They probably go up to 20,000. So probably what I'm planning on doing is just head off to the left or the right. Probably to the right, just so I can set up my instant approach that I want to going into Madang.
Kind of interesting out here, all these like islands and inlets and harbors.
It's like a little delta kind of area. Kind of cool. Morse D1267, November Tango Echo request.
November Tango Echo, Morse, go ahead.
November Tango Echo requesting any traffic up to 20 miles right of track due weather.
November Tango Echo, 20 miles right of track, no reported traffic.
November Tango Echo. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and bring out my approach plate for coming into, this is our newest one, I don't think it has it, into Madang. Alright, you can see here we're on the map, our airplane just picked up, we still got to go to Bogia. These are our own IFR charts, so our altitudes are a little bit lower than what you might find on an actual en route chart. So our minimum safe is 7,400 as we come over these mountains. More than likely though, it looks like there's quite a big build-up system right there, so I'll come in like that probably.
Hey, good afternoon, Footplane Sierra Alpha Bravo Taxi, WEWAC, Medevac Flight to BWAT, TOB1.
So that's what my plan is, to get into there. So let's go ahead and bring up runway 07 approach. We'll probably just set it up to come into Whiskey Golf and then enter in. This is a non-precision, this is a GNSS approach, but it does not have vertical guidance coming down. It's just an LNAV down here in the corner. But the other one, which is runway 25 over the water, if you look down here, it has LNAV plus VNAV, so it has vertical guidance down. So basically it will fly you down like an ILS. This one does not. You have to manually flip it in every few seconds, which is super annoying. So this is a good time. While we're here not doing a lot, we're going to go ahead and brief everything and then set up all of our radios for our next, whoever we're going to talk to or listen to, ATIS and whatnot. So we've got 120.8 for our ATIS and 118.1 for our tower. I might actually switch that to the other. I think I'm going to actually switch it up here though, once we get a little bit closer, because this November Tango Echo's number 2 radio doesn't work very well. So 127.8's ATIS, we'll get that once we get probably around 40 miles. The tower we've already got in. Like I said, we're going to come to Whiskey Gulf, and then Whiskey India, and then on in. Probably won't need to because it's going to be a nice day up there, but it's good practice. I'm going to cross here. So our final approach course is 058. Whiskey Foxtrot, we can get all the way down to 2,100 feet, which is the final approach fix. Our minimum descent altitude is just 640. If you look down here in the corner, we've got actual QNH or just forecasted. We'll have actual QNH once we get there, so we can go all the way down to 640. If you guys want to fly this exact same flight route on your home sim, check out the link below. I'll leave it on my Patreon page, and we'll see if I can get like kind of the instant approach and basically the exact same thing, so you can simulate this same whole flight all the way down to Bogia, shooting the approach and everything like that. So if you guys like, you try to maybe land at some of these bush locations that I go to, I also have like 50 or 60 flights of those that you can go to with like airstrip diagrams, and even some of the airstrips, if they're not on whatever simulator you have. Got some for X-Plane and as well as some for Microsoft Flight Sim. So definitely check that out if you guys like it, or just want to see some extra on-the-ground content of like walking around some of these places or going through some of the villages and stuff. I put all that kind of content on my Patreon page just to keep this strictly like flying stuff. Yeah, so we're at 11,000, all those clouds up there. Probably has some pretty heavy rain looking down underneath of it, and it probably goes up to, I don't know, 30,000 feet probably already. So when it only takes like a 5-degree turn off this way to go around it, we'll just go around it. It's gonna be a lot smoother and more enjoyable, and it looks like a clear shot all the way up to Madang where we actually need to go.
So you can see like a little fire, like, you know, someone has a fire down there, but like there's no villages like anywhere near it.
I know, there's always, I'm sure there's somewhere, some houses nearby them, but it's crazy. Like, if you think nowhere, like, you'll be in the middle of nowhere and you'll be like, there's no way, oh, nope, there's a house.
There's a house, I know, but
it's crazy.
I just don't see them there. But there's like a village right there. It's like, that's really close to the water if it has flooding.
Yeah, there's a couple of them that I've flown over real low, and they're really cool. Some back towards the Sepik River, they're all on stilts.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
And
because, like,
they're built like right on the water.
it's not going to work during rainy season.
Oh no, yeah, all the houses along these rivers are all built on stilts because they
okay.
flood, and the river will come up like 10 feet overnight. Like places like Yifki, not Yifki, but Yimby Yimby and Inadu, places like that, they'll like flood overnight.
Oh.
November Tango Echo, 25 miles, Madang, contact Madang, 118.1.
25 miles, contact Madang, 118.1, November Tango Echo. Alright, another nice thing about Jeppesen is it actually shows you what your ATIS is. We'll see if we can get that now, 127.8.
0330 Zulu, runway 07, wind variable 3 knots, visibility 10 kilometers or more, haze, cloud, scattered 1,600 feet, scattered 5,000 feet, QNH 1010, temperature and dew point not available. Caution, runway 25 threshold displaced by 880 meters, available length 700 meters, bird strike hazard exists. Acknowledge information Foxtrot.
Alright, we're going to bring up our airports here, and we want our arrival. So yeah, this is our star. We're going to be coming in from this direction, so at 45 miles. If we're in IMC conditions, then we can go down to 7,500, just basically a step down, so I know when I can start descending if I am in clouds.
Hey, I hear this lady just keep on saying the same thing over and over again.
Oh,
the weather stuff.
There we go.
It's kind of annoying.
So let's go ahead and set up our descent profile down into Madang. Basically, we can just put in 1,000 feet overhead, and then it's not going to let me come down here to go down to the vertical speed, just because I don't have, I'm not set up to go direct right this minute. So if I hit direct to Madang, then it will let me. There we go. Now it's going to let me do it. We'll do 800 feet per minute. That's the top of descent mark, but we're still on our heading mode down here. So we're just going to continue on up where the green is. Basically, that's where the lowest terrain is. And it's just going to get us around this stuff here. My wing cameras and my other horizontal, they're not waterproof, so I prefer not to fly through water if I don't need to, because last time I did, it messed up one of the screens pretty good. So I'm going to hold on screwing up a $500 camera if I don't need to. Now that we started our descent, we will turn our altimeter setting,
Papa X-ray Charlie
1010, as well as our secondary.
Charlie Zulu.
Alright, setting up our procedures for our approach. We'll hit approach, our procedures down here, select approach. We want the RNAV. Now it says LNAV plus V, but it's not a VNAV, so it's not going to give me vertical guidance all the way down and actually fly it with the autopilot. We want Whiskey India. Correction, no, we want Whiskey Golf, sorry, as our initial approach fix. We'll turn it to Barrow and 640. We'll
Vertical track.
Now that, go ahead and put in here, we verify we're on the right approach for Madang 07 LNAV, which is the exact same thing that we're seeing up here. Once we get to 25 miles, we go down to 6,000 feet. As we get bumped around. There we go. All right, and you can see the heading that I'm on is basically taking us direct to Whiskey Golf. So I might as well just go ahead and put that in right now. Activate my approach. Getting into rain, awesome. And then we'll go ahead and hit nav for GPSS, so we'll just go straight to Whiskey Golf. I have my nearest button down here, and it reminds me of how far Madang is. At 25 miles, we'll contact tower. Also coming up to our 7500. All right, we're coming up to 25 miles. Once we get that, we'll turn it on down to 6,000 and call up tower.
Like a roller coaster.
All right. Madang Tower, November Tango Echo.
November Tango Echo Merento.
Up in November Tango Echo, 25 miles to the west-northwest, 7,500 on descent. Information Foxtrot, requesting to shoot the practice GNSS 07 Whiskey Golf.
November Tango Echo Roger, cleared on the 07 approach.
Clear on Nav 07 approach, November Tango Echo. All right, we are going down, oops, I forgot to actually start going back down to 6,000. 15 miles, we can go down to 5,100. And let's bring up our approach, 07. At Whiskey Golf, 5,600. So at 15 miles, we'll go all the way down to 5,600 feet, or correction, yeah, 5,600 for Whiskey Golf. And at that point, we can go on down a little bit further. All right, let's get this set up for 5,600 feet. Another mile and a half, we'll start going down unless we break out, and then we'll head on down, just so we're not, there we go, just so we're not racing down. All right, 5,600 feet by Whiskey Golf, then we drop down to basically 3,700 feet to Whiskey India. Now we're heading down to 3,700 feet. Madang Tower, November Tango Echo, Whiskey Golf this time. We'll report again, Whiskey Foxtrot. Your circuit 10 estimate.
November Tango Echo.
So the biggest thing I'm going to do here is just look on this little map here, make sure that little arc, I'm going to get to my altitude by the time I want to get to Whiskey India. I actually had to shoot this a couple times a few months ago when it was like pouring down rain all the way down to minimums. One time all the way to minimums, and the other time I broke out like a little bit before. But not that often do we actually have to shoot approaches all the way down to minimums. Usually you can break out. And what I mean by minimums is going all the way down to like the minimum altitude that you're allowed to go down to.
Okay, yeah.
Not very often do we actually do that. So once I basically start turning in from Whiskey India, I'm going to start setting up the plane. If this was an actual IMC conditions, flying in clouds or rain, I would have slowed down and set everything up a little bit more, just to give myself more time and space to think. But because it's a nice day out, I'm giving myself a little bit more leeway, just keeping it faster. Once we turn inbound, we'll push the prop forward 10 degrees of flaps and slow on down to 110 is what we would fly the Kodiak on all of our approaches. So on our descent, we'll probably have around 400 foot-pounds of torque, and that's going to give us that 110 nice descent all the way down at like 500 feet per minute. We're turning left in 1 second. Now I'm going to start reducing my power down to 400 foot-pound of torque because we're fairly light. prop forward. We'll go 10 degrees of flaps. And we want to go down to 2,100 feet. Now that we're coming down, my speed should get right up to about 110. We went down to 2,100 feet by Whiskey Foxtrot, where I'll let her know where I am. We'll get there in 2 minutes. It looks like we're going to be good on altitude as well, so I can actually bump my power up to more closer to 400. That'll bring my airspeed up. So you're going to adjust your power to adjust your airspeed and your pitch for the altitude that you want on this approach. It looks like 500 foot-pounds of torque today. We do have an 11-knot headwind that might be causing some of it. Now that we're leveling off, I'm going to have to add a little bit of power to maintain my speed. Then we'll go down to 1,100 feet after this. So I'm going to bring it back up to about 800 feet, or 800 foot-pound of torque, as we're leveling off to keep that 110. Heading Tower, November Tango Echo, Whiskey Foxtrot, 7-mile final.
November Tango Echo, runway 07, clear to land.
Clear to land 07, November Tango Echo. Down to 1,100 feet now. And reduce our torque on back down to about 500. That was giving me that 110 earlier. And then after Zulu, down to 640. All right, 31 seconds before we go down to our minimum descent altitude. All right, now all the way down to 640. I'm going to bring it all the way down to 1,000 foot per minute. That's the max we want on a non-precision approach. All right, that's autopilot off. Line up with the center line a little bit more.
Minimums.
Here's our 640. We'll go 20 degrees of flaps. And half the runway's used, but we'll still land on like the 500 foot marker is what we'll shoot for today. 8 knots of headwind.
500.
As you can see, like the other end of the runway, they're like widening the airstrip.
Okay.
Put it like so that bigger airplanes can come in here. I don't think they're not actually. I think no. I guess they lengthened it a little bit. Not very much though.
Well, you can't lengthen it too far. It's the water.
No, coming this way, I think they did, but not very much though. All right, we wanted 68 knots. Six knots, 5 knots of headwind. 5 knots of crosswind. Below. Now all over the place. For some reason, every time I get low to the ground, this ear starts crackling in my headset, and I have no idea why. All right, they were working on this ramp. I'm not exactly sure. Head Tower, November Tango Echo. We'll be parking for the weekend. Is the ramp available down to the MAF hangar?
November Tango Echo negative, sir.
Where would you like me to park? I'll be here till Sunday.
November Tango Echo, you can park in front of the fire station.
All right, I'll do that, thanks. All right, guys, thanks so much for joining along on that flight. Hope you guys did enjoy it, and hope you guys enjoyed that instrument approach as well. So anyways, thanks for watching, and see you guys next time.